I used to measure time by how long I could go without crying in the grocery store parking lot. My record was 3 days. Then a stranger's playlist, more than 20 songs I'd never heard autoplayed after a podcast ended. And I stayed in that lot until the sky went black, sobbing for a completely different reason. Somebody out there already knew the shape of my pain. From the outside, my life looked enviable. My name is Lorraine, and I had a stable job, a supportive circle, and a loving family. But I wasn't falling apart in the dramatic way people expect. No cries for help, no broken glass, no midnight scenes. I just stopped answering texts, stopped changing sheets, stopped believing tomorrow would bother to show up. The silence felt like a second skin. Itchy, heavy, but weirdly safe. I told myself I was resting, but really I was rehearsing non-existence. Food tasted like cardboard. Showering felt like a conspiracy. The worst part wasn't the emptiness itself, it was how ordinary it looked from the outside. I still smiled at neighbors, still clocked in for Zoom calls. Until the day I sat in my car and couldn't remember where I was supposed to drive next. That Tuesday, I'd driven to the far corner of the lot because the interior light of my apartment felt like a crime scene. I queued up a productivity podcast hoping for a dopamine hit. It ended, and then Spotify rolled, and the first song was Elau by SB19. I don't listen to their type of genre that much, but the opening line, Kanina ay nahuli ang aking sarili, hit like ice water, literally, smiling again, yet hiding still. I felt seen in a song I barely knew. I didn't skip. Track 2 started, Kumunoi, from an artist known as Pablo. The lyrics talk about quicksand. I was chest deep. I let the whole thing run. 32 tracks, 94 minutes. When it finished, I hit repeat. Then again. Somewhere between the third and fourth loop, I realized I hadn't checked my phone for texts, hadn't doom scrolled, hadn't rehearsed the apology email I owed my manager. I was just breathing to a beat that had been calibrated to my exact frequency of brokenness. Here's the truth about being in a dark place. It narrows your vocabulary until help is all you have. And even that word feels too heavy to lift. But these songs did something sneakier and more compassionate. They returned my feelings to me, cloaked in metaphor, so I could finally look at them without flinching. The humming at the start of the song Mappa was the same sound my grandmother used to make when she tucked me in, especially when panic would make my ribs vibrate after a nightmare. She passed away years ago, and while that sound didn't erase the grief, it folded the memory into a manageable shape, like placing the pieces of a shattered plate into a velvet pouch instead of gripping the shards in my hand. Track 14, Quit, appeared right as the playlist shifted from a minor to a major key. I mouthed the line, afraid to die alive. I noticed my tongue staying for an extra second against my teeth, as if my body was learning to hold on. I had initially thought the song's title would encourage me to give up, but it was actually a powerful command. To quit quitting. I didn't wake up healed. I woke up curious, which is a cousin of hope, less flashy but more durable. Next morning, I Googled the lyrics, scribbled rough translations on sticky notes, and plastered them around my mirror. I started small, shower every other day, reply to one text, eat something that isn't instant noodles. Each time I completed a task, I added a song to a new playlist titled Receipts. By week 4, it held more than 20 songs. Tiny trophies in sonic form. Eventually, I told my best friend, I'm on a playlist regimen, half joking, terrified she'd laugh. She didn't. She asked for the link, listened in her own car, cried, and sent back 3 songs that had held her during a tough breakup. We started swapping tracks like kids trading stickers. Except ours were lifelines. By the way, if you've got a song that feels like it was mixed in the same lab where your sadness was brewed, drop the title in the comments. No pressure to explain why. Sometimes the algorithm needs crumbs to lead the next stranger home. I'm no therapist, but after this happened, I started digging for answers. It turns out I wasn't just making it up. A 2022 study found that picking the right music can lower feelings of being in a dark place, almost as effectively as a low-dose antidepressant does over 2 months. The key isn't the genre, but how much a song feels like it's about you. Brain scans show your emotional center calms down while your thinking part sparks up. It's like getting an emotional checkup without the hassle. So no, that playlist wasn't a magic cure. It was more like a workout partner for my brain, spotting me while I lifted the weight of my own feelings. Month 3 found me volunteering for a crisis text line. During training on coping tools, I wrote Niabe on repeat. A facilitator saw it, her eyes growing glassy, and whispered, "SB19 pulled my little brother out of that never-ending loop." We didn't share our trauma stories. We didn't have to. We just gave each other a quiet nod, two people who had just found out they were born in the same invisible country. At that moment, I finally understood. The playlist wasn't just my lifeline. It was a lifeline stretched across an entire jagged mountain, anchored by strangers who will never meet, yet share the same tremor in their pulse. So if you're in that mountain now, reach out. Send a simple hello to a friend or loved one, or find your local hotline. The numbers are in the description. You don't have to explain the whole story. Sometimes a simple, "I need a hand." They'll know what to do next. I still cry in parking lots, but now it's when a chorus hits just as the sun breaks through the windshield glare, and I remember how far I'd come to feel that convergence. The playlist is at 80 songs from artists I didn't even know existed. Some days I only need the first 3. Other nights I let it run to the end and start over. The abyss hasn't vanished. It's more like a mountain I can map. And every time I press play, I'm dropping another lifeline into the dark for whoever lands there next. If that's you, I'll leave you with the line that made me stay. You are not alone. Press play when you're ready. We're already humming along. If this story resonated with you, more tales from every corner of the heart are on the way. This has been your Tender Hour. Until next time, keep listening.